Welcome back. Tell me, have you ever noticed how Hollywood stars swear their beauty is 100% natural, yet their faces whisper an entirely different story? What happens when the chase for perfection spirals into pure obsession? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the shocking world of plastic surgery regrets, where fame, fortune, and vanity collide, leaving some of Tinseltown's brightest icons nearly unrecognizable. So, who are they? And just how far did it go? Stick around because we're about to expose the secrets Hollywood never wanted you to see. Lisa Rinna, from Hollywood darling to plastic surgery's warning sign. Lisa Rinna's story reads like a Hollywood script: glamour, drama, and shocking twists. Once a radiant starlet on Days of Our Lives and Melrose Place, her fresh-faced beauty made her a household name. But in her 20s, Rinna made a choice that would define her image forever: permanent silicone lip fillers. At first, her pout became her trademark, the feature everyone recognized. But as time passed, the fillers hardened, leaving her lips uneven and lumpy, a flaw no makeup artist could disguise. It took 25 long years before she finally went under the knife for corrective surgery. By then, however, the damage was irreversible. And Lisa didn't stop there. Botox, dermal fillers, breast augmentation, her face and body became a canvas for Hollywood's obsession with youth. Fans whispered that she looked overdone, while critics claimed she was nearly unrecognizable. By 2024, even Lisa herself admitted, "Some of those fillers were not good for me," dissolving parts of them in an effort to turn back time. Still, the relentless commentary branded her a cautionary tale. Was she a victim of impossible beauty standards, or did she simply go too far in chasing eternal youth? Despite the criticism, Rinna insists she has no regrets. She leans into her flaws, even turning her lips into the centerpiece of her beauty brand. Yet the question lingers: when she looks in the mirror, does she truly embrace the reflection staring back? Or does regret whisper in the shadows? What was I thinking? Joan Van Ark, Hollywood's cautionary tale of chasing eternal youth. Joan Van Ark, forever remembered as the unforgettable Valine Ewing on Knots Landing, was once praised for her radiant beauty and commanding screen presence. But as the 1990s arrived, Joan found herself caught in Hollywood's unforgiving race against time, a pursuit of eternal youth that would leave her image forever altered. It began innocently enough with a subtle rhinoplasty in 1991. Yet soon, the changes multiplied: eyelid surgeries, facelifts, Botox, chemical peels. By the 2000s, her once soft elegance had hardened into something unrecognizable. Fans who adored her natural grace were shocked by her pale, stretched skin and hollowed eyes. The transformation reached a painful climax at the 40th anniversary event for Knots Landing, where whispers about her melting appearance overshadowed the celebration. Was Joan simply another victim of Hollywood's brutal beauty standards, or was this her own personal battle with self-image? She has remained silent about her choices, but the results speak louder than words. Some sympathize with her fight against aging in an industry obsessed with youth, while others see her as a living warning sign of what happens when the scalpel becomes a substitute for self-acceptance. Her journey is as complicated as the characters she once portrayed: tragic, layered, and impossible to fully unravel. Because in the end, the question remains: what does youthful perfection really look like when you're chasing it through a maze of plastic surgeons? So stay with me until the very end of this video, because Joan Van Ark's story isn't just about one actress. It's a mirror held up to Hollywood, and maybe even to ourselves. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel shattered by a cosmetic nightmare. Once hailed as one of the most iconic supermodels of the 90s, Linda Evangelista was beauty personified. With over 700 magazine covers to her name, she was the face of Chanel, Versace, and the very definition of high fashion. Her flawless features and commanding runway presence made her untouchable, until one decision changed everything. In 2015 and 2016, Linda underwent what was supposed to be a simple, quick fix, a cool sculpting treatment meant to reduce stubborn fat. Instead, her body betrayed her. Rather than slimming, the procedure triggered a rare side effect known as paradoxical adipose hyperplasia. Her chin, thighs, chest, and even her face began to harden and enlarge, twisting her once perfect silhouette into painful, misshapen lumps. Corrective surgeries followed, but the damage was done, not just to her body, but to her spirit. The woman who once defined beauty now hid from the world, her career in ruins, her confidence shattered. For years, Linda lived in seclusion, retreating from the very spotlight she once commanded. By 2021, she could no longer stay silent. Filing a lawsuit against the company behind Cool Sculpting, Linda sought justice, not just for herself, but for anyone who believed in the promise of a safe, cosmetic shortcut. Her courage sparked a global conversation about the true risks of chasing perfection, reminding us that not every quick fix comes without consequences. Linda Evangelista's story is heartbreaking, yet powerful. She was once the embodiment of beauty, and though that image was altered forever, her bravery in speaking out gave her a different kind of legacy. Still, one haunting question lingers. If she had known Cool Sculpting would turn her from runway royalty into a recluse, would she have ever traded the catwalk for the surgeon's chair? Michaela Romanini was once hailed as the Italian Paris Hilton, a glamorous socialite whose beauty and lavish lifestyle made her the center of attention in the late 90s. But her pursuit of perfection became her downfall. What started as a few harmless collagen injections and Botox treatments soon spiraled into an obsession. Her lips, once naturally full, grew unnaturally swollen. Her face, once a symbol of elegance, became distorted with every new procedure. Instead of enhancing her charm, the surgeries robbed her of it, leaving her looking artificial and far older than her years. The transformation was so dramatic that people began comparing her to Donatella Versace, another woman whose face told a cautionary tale of excess. Today, Michaela clings to old photos of her youthful self, posting them on social media as reminders of what she once was. Behind those posts lies deep regret, a woman emotionally scarred, trapped in a constant battle with her own reflection. Reports suggest she is planning yet another round of surgeries, still chasing the ghost of her former self. But the haunting question remains, will Michaela ever find peace with the woman she's become? Or is she destined to keep chasing an illusion that no longer exists? Perhaps the only timeless beauty in her story is the harsh lesson it leaves behind, about how easy it is to lose yourself when the needle becomes your mirror. La Toya Jackson, a transformation that shocked the world. La Toya Jackson, once celebrated for her fiery personality and her determination to escape Michael's shadow, took her public image in a direction no one could have predicted. In the late 80s, she began her journey into cosmetic surgery, starting with a nose job many believed was inspired by Michael's own transformation. But what began as a single change soon spiraled into a series of procedures that left her nearly unrecognizable. From facelifts to cheek implants, chin reshaping to eyelid surgeries, La Toya's once soft features grew sharper, tighter, and unsettlingly wax-like. Her nose became thin to the point of fragility, while her lips swelled into a shape that left fans comparing her smile to the Joker's. The drastic changes didn't just raise eyebrows, they drew haunting parallels to her brother's own extreme cosmetic journey. Was this all La Toya's personal choice? Or was she, like Michael, another casualty of fame's relentless pressure to reinvent and perfect? Though she has never fully confirmed the extent of her procedures, her altered face became a cautionary tale. The gentle beauty she once carried was erased, replaced by an image that invited ridicule and relentless public scrutiny. Her transformation, meant to redefine her, became something else entirely, a chilling reminder that sometimes less truly is more, unless you're auditioning for a Joker reboot in Hollywood. Donatella Versace, the shocking transformation of a fashion icon. Once celebrated for her elegance and her role as the creative genius behind the Versace empire, Donatella Versace's name today sparks just as much conversation about her cosmetic journey as her contributions to fashion. After the tragic murder of her brother Johnny in 1997, Donatella stepped into the spotlight, cementing her place in the fashion world with bold, fearless leadership. But by the early 2000s, the focus began to shift, from her daring designs to her ever-changing face. What began with a subtle rhinoplasty soon spiraled into a series of facelifts, eyelid surgeries, Botox injections, and fillers. Her once smooth, radiant skin developed a glossy, almost wax-like sheen. Her lips swelled, her cheekbones sharpened, and her eyes took on a stretched, almost sculpted appearance. Critics couldn't help but point out the increasingly unnatural look, drawing comparisons to her brother's own complicated history with cosmetic procedures. Some say Donatella was chasing timeless beauty. Others believe she became her own avant-garde art project, a glamorous mannequin carved by her own ambition. Love it or hate it, her transformation has become just as iconic as the brand she leads. Because when you're running a fashion empire, maybe the boldest statement is turning yourself into the ultimate piece of couture. Caitlyn Jenner. A transformation that sparked headlines, controversy, and inspiration. Once known to the world as Bruce Jenner, the Olympic gold medalist who became America's hero in 1976, she later stepped into an entirely different spotlight. By 2015, Caitlyn reintroduced herself to the world with her unforgettable Vanity Fair cover. A groundbreaking moment that forever changed the conversation about transgender visibility. Her transition wasn't just emotional, it was physical. Caitlyn endured a grueling 10-hour surgery in 2015, involving eyebrow lifts, jawline sculpting, nose refinement, and cheek implants, procedures meant to align her outward appearance with the woman she always knew herself to be. Over the years, she's continued with Botox, lip fillers, and revisions to maintain a youthful, feminine look. But critics have often pointed to the tightness of her skin, especially around the eyes and forehead, saying her face now looks stretched, even frozen. Caitlyn has never hidden the truth. She's spoken openly about her surgeries, insisting she has no regrets. To her, these procedures weren't vanity, they were survival, a way to finally feel whole. Public opinion remains divided. Some call her brave, others call her artificial. Yet Caitlyn herself says she's found peace, even as she navigates a complicated family dynamic and ongoing criticism of her political views. Still, the jokes linger. Her face, some say, has more lifts than an elevator. But beneath the punchlines lies a deeper truth. Caitlyn Jenner proved that living authentically isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about embracing yourself, even if it takes a few Botox injections along the way. Lil' Kim. A cautionary tale of beauty lost in the pursuit of perfection. Once celebrated as a trailblazer in hip-hop, she is now just as famous for her dramatic plastic surgeries as for her music. Over the years, she went under the knife countless times. Nose jobs, breast augmentations, and more, all chasing society's impossible standards of beauty. But instead of enhancing her looks, the surgeries left her unrecognizable. Her once distinctive face gave way to an unnaturally thin nose and a swollen, tightened appearance that critics say stripped away her natural charm. The backlash was swift and merciless. Fans and media alike asked why she felt the need to go so far. Lil' Kim herself admitted to deep insecurities, confessing that she never felt she measured up to the ideals pushed by magazines and the entertainment industry. Many believe her relentless quest for perfection may have been fueled by body dysmorphia, a silent battle hidden behind the glitz and fame. Yet despite the criticism, Lil' Kim remains unapologetic. Her story, however, stands as a stark warning about the dangers of letting insecurities drive extreme choices. When the pursuit of eternal youth spirals into obsession, the dream of perfection can turn into a nightmare. And in Lil' Kim's case, the only thing that seems to keep growing isn't her beauty, it's the long list of surgeries etched into her legacy. Melanie Griffith. A tragic journey through plastic surgery. Once celebrated as the very image of Hollywood beauty and charm, Melanie Griffith became a haunting reminder of how the desperate chase for eternal youth can end in tragedy. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the relentless pressure of Hollywood's impossible beauty standards pushed her toward Botox, lip fillers, and multiple facelifts. At first, the results seemed promising. She had the radiant glow she longed for. But as the years passed, the surgeries began to steal more than they gave. Her lips grew unnaturally swollen, her skin stretched so tight that the expressive warmth of her face vanished, replaced by a stiff mask. By 2017, Griffith admitted she hadn't realized how unrecognizable she had become until others pointed it out. Even after attempts to reverse the damage, the changes proved irreversible. The natural, iconic beauty that once made her a star had been replaced by an artificial and overdone look. Her story stands as a chilling cautionary tale about the dangers of Hollywood's obsession with youth, a pursuit that too often robs stars of the very essence that made them shine. In the end, Melanie Griffith reminds us all, in Hollywood, the race against time is a game no one truly wins. Brigitte Nielsen, a surgery nightmare. Brigitte Nielsen, the striking Danish actress who once stole the screen in Red Sonja and Rocky IV, was admired for her towering presence and natural allure. But as she entered her 40s, the relentless pressure of Hollywood's beauty standards drove her down a dangerous path of plastic surgery. At 44, she appeared on the reality show From Old to New, laying bare her extreme makeover, facelifts, eyelid surgery, Botox injections, lip fillers, and liposuction. The results were devastating. Her facelift pulled her skin so tightly that her once vibrant face took on a stiff, plastic sheen. The eyelid surgery robbed her of her expressive eyes, narrowing them into something almost unrecognizable. Though Nielsen claimed to be happy with her new look, the truth is undeniable. At 61, the distinctive features that once made her magnetic have been erased. What began as a desperate attempt to turn back time ended up stripping away the very essence of her beauty. Now, her face stands as both a cautionary tale and a surreal piece of modern art, a reminder that in Hollywood, the pursuit of perfection can turn even the most captivating star into a shadow of herself. In trying to outshine her Rocky IV villain role, she revealed the true villain, an obsession with eternal youth at any cost. Suzanne Somers, The Price of Perfection. Suzanne Somers, forever remembered as the bubbly Chrissy Snow on Three's Company, once embodied fresh-faced beauty and effortless elegance. But her quest to preserve that image came at a devastating cost. Determined to hold on to youth, she turned to drastic cosmetic procedures that shocked both fans and critics alike. At first, Suzanne credited her radiant glow to hormones and supplements. Yet as time went on, the truth became hard to ignore. A tightly pulled facelift left her jawline unnaturally rigid, while Botox froze her forehead into a mask-like stillness. Fillers plumped her lips and smoothed wrinkles, but over the years, those same injections distorted the features that once made her unmistakable. Her nose appeared wider, her natural folds faded away, and her face, once soft and inviting, grew stiff and unrecognizable. The transformation was heartbreaking. Gone was the effortless natural beauty that had defined her. Still, Suzanne stood by her choices, insisting her cosmetic journey was part of her personal philosophy of aging. But as her reflection drifted further from the woman the world once adored, one truth lingered. In Hollywood, the chase for perfection often ends in the haunting question, "Who are you again?" Goldie Hawn's fight against time became her greatest struggle. Once beloved for her sparkling charm and unforgettable roles in The First Wives Club and Overboard, she was Hollywood's golden girl, effortless, radiant, timeless. But as the years passed, her desperate attempt to cling to youth took a heartbreaking turn. When she appeared at the 2014 Academy Awards, fans were stunned. Her once natural beauty looked altered, her features unrecognizable. Whispers of Botox, fillers, and facelifts grew louder. By 2017, her face appeared unnaturally tight, the skin pulled around her jawline and cheekbones until her signature softness was gone. The biggest changes were in her eyes and nose. Eyelid surgery left her with a permanently startled look, while a rhinoplasty gave her nose a sharpness that contrasted painfully with her classic charm. Her smile, once warm and inviting, grew stiff. Her expressions, once effortless, became rigid. In chasing eternal youth, Goldie lost the very essence of what made audiences fall in love with her. Instead of preserving her magic, the procedures carved away her authenticity. Now, the woman once adored for her glow and laughter seems frozen, locked in a face that barely resembles the Hollywood icon we knew. In her search for a forever young reflection, Goldie may have stumbled into Hollywood's cruelest plot twist, becoming a stranger to her own beauty. Dolly Parton, The Price of a Cartoonish Dream. Dolly Parton, the legendary country music icon with a heart as big as her voice, has always been larger than life. But behind the sparkle and rhinestones lies another story, her unapologetic journey with cosmetic surgery. Starting in the 1980s, Dolly went under the knife to preserve her youthful glow, nose jobs, brow lifts, eyelid surgeries. Each procedure polished her look, but also chipped away at her natural expressions. As time went on, chin augmentations, facelifts, and endless Botox injections left her face looking less like porcelain and more like plastic. By 60, a dramatic facelift stretched her skin so tightly that it almost erased the warmth fans once recognized. Dolly herself has never hidden the truth. She's admitted to swelling, bruising, and even a few regrets. Yet, she defends her choices fiercely, calling them a form of self-care and a way to keep up her dazzling image. Critics say she looks more cartoon than human, but Dolly embraces it with pride. Because in Dolly's world, beauty isn't just about looking young, it's about being unforgettable. And even if her reflection has changed forever, her spirit remains unshaken, reminding us that sometimes the boldest trailblazers are the ones who refuse to apologize for shining in their own way. Janice Dickinson, the price of perfection. Janice Dickinson, once celebrated as the world's first supermodel, dazzled the industry with her natural beauty and groundbreaking career. But behind the glitz and glamour, her pursuit of perfection led her down a path that would forever change her face and her life. It began innocently in her 30s, with a breast augmentation. But one procedure quickly became many: facelifts, liposuction, Botox injections, cheek implants. Each surgery chipped away at the warmth and expression that once defined her, leaving her face stiff, polished, almost unrecognizable. The backlash was harsh, yet Janice never apologized. She even appeared on the reality show Botched, seeking to fix a breast augmentation gone wrong. But the surgeries didn't just alter her looks, they drained her bank account. In 2013, drowning in medical bills and cosmetic costs, Janice filed for bankruptcy, marking one of the lowest points in her storied career. Still, she stands defiant. Dickinson insists her choices were hers alone, making her both a polarizing figure and a cautionary tale. Her story exposes the fragile line between beauty, fame, and self-image in Hollywood. And perhaps, as Janice herself embodies, when you chase perfection too far, you don't destroy yourself. You create a masterpiece no one else can ever replicate. Katie Price, a journey of regret and broken beauty. Katie Price, known to many as Jordan, once embodied glamour, fame, and a carefully crafted image. For years, she openly embraced cosmetic enhancements, from breast implants to Botox and fillers, becoming almost as famous for her transformations as for her modeling and reality TV career. But what began as a pursuit of perfection slowly unraveled into a cautionary tale. In 2017, one of her most regrettable procedures went horribly wrong. A botched round of Botox and lip fillers left her unrecognizable, sparking headlines and forcing her to admit that she felt ugly. Instead of restoring her confidence, each new surgery chipped away at her natural beauty, leaving her features distorted and her body plagued with complications from repeated breast augmentations. Despite publicly voicing regret, Katie continued down the same path, chasing an ever-elusive ideal. Her changing appearance drew heavy criticism, with many accusing her of pushing cosmetic surgery far past its limits. What was once the face of a confident star became a haunting reminder of how quickly the pursuit of perfection can spiral into obsession. Katie's story isn't just about fame or vanity, it's about how one decision can lead to another until you're trapped in a cycle that steals the very essence of who you are. In the end, her journey is a sobering reminder. In the race to create a new you, the biggest loss might be the person you once loved in the mirror. Mickey Rourke, a Hollywood heartthrob's tragic battle with plastic surgery. Once hailed as one of Hollywood's most magnetic leading men, Mickey Rourke had it all: fame, charm, and rugged good looks that made him a heartthrob of the 1980s. But when he walked away from Hollywood to chase a boxing career in the 1990s, everything changed. The ring left him battered with brutal facial injuries, forcing him into a long and painful journey of reconstructive surgeries. Rourke underwent 5 nose operations and multiple procedures to rebuild his cheekbones. Yet instead of restoring his chiseled features, the surgeries distorted them. His once sharp, masculine face grew swollen and unbalanced. Over time, heavy use of Botox and fillers gave his forehead and lips a glossy, unnatural sheen, far removed from the man fans once adored. Rourke himself admitted he had chosen the wrong surgeons, and the results shocked both Hollywood and the public. Still, behind the altered face, his talent never faded. His powerful performance in The Wrestler reminded the world that Mickey Rourke was still an actor of rare passion and grit. It proved that while his appearance had changed beyond recognition, his artistry remained untouchable. Hollywood dazzles with its bright lights, but behind the glamour lurks a much darker truth. Beauty can be as fragile as fame. And sometimes, the most haunting transformation isn't scripted on screen, it's written across a star's very face. Carol Bryan's story is one of Hollywood's most chilling cautionary tales, a haunting reminder that the promise of a quick fix can spiral into tragedy. In 2009, at just 47, the Florida native thought she needed nothing more than a simple touch-up. A few dermal fillers, a small boost of youth, that's all she expected. Instead, she stepped into a nightmare. A botched cocktail of silicone and fillers left her face swelling like a balloon on the verge of bursting. Within months, her forehead collapsed over her eyes. To see, she had to tape her skin up with duct tape. Yes, duct tape. Each morning, her reflection seemed to change shape as the fillers expanded and contracted, defying all logic. Desperate, Carol turned to corrective surgeries, but each one only deepened the devastation. Years of isolation followed, as she hid from the world, a prisoner of her own reflection. Finally, hope arrived in the form of Dr. Raza Jarahi and Dr. Brian Boyd, who undertook a grueling 17-hour operation to reconstruct her forehead. They saved her life, but not her sight. Carol would never see again. Today, she has transformed her pain into purpose. As an advocate for safer cosmetic procedures, she warns others about the hidden dangers behind beauty's quick fixes. Her story is more than survival, it's a plea for awareness. This concludes today's story on Exposed Hollywood. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the untold truths we uncover. Stay tuned, because the next story might just shock you even more.